G'day everyone, just thought I'd make an ACS lighting example about how to create scripted lighting sequences to make some of those really impressive looking cycling lighting effects that you see in some nice impressive large scale WODs. So I've just made a rather large sector here and given it a blue floor and some solid black walls and ceiling just for looks. And what we'll do to start off is create a new sector here, and we'll use this to build a skyscraper to apply a bunch of lighting effects to. So we'll just use the stair builder to make this. It's a great tool to create a bunch of sectors together. We'll go with 30 sectors, and we don't need to do anything like apply distinct sectors or anything like that, because we'll just make this entire thing cycle with light. So hit OK there, and now we have a whole bunch of sectors here to play with. So we use the gradient tool to make a nice conic tower here. To do this, just choose the outermost sector and raise it up to where you want it to start, and then choose the innermost sector and raise it up to the highest point you're after. Now it's very important to select in the right order for this gradient tool. So we'll start by selecting the lowest level of our tower, and then we'll use the paint select shortcut to quickly grab all the other sectors, ensuring the final selection is the highest point, in this case the center of the tower. Hit the floor gradient button at the top here, or you can use the shortcut Ctrl G, and voila! We now have a nice pyramidal structure here to build our lights on. Texture up your pyramid. Again, paint select is an absolute lifesaver when dealing with large amounts of sectors, so make sure you have that bound to a nearby key. Choose some suitable lights for your pyramid. This looks kind of pretty as it is, but we'll use some basic scripting to really make this pop. Paint select all your sectors from outside to in. Again, paint select is a lifesaver. And right click to edit the properties and use the greater than equals to sign to assign values greater than or equal to 1000 for these sectors, which will incrementally tag them starting from 1000. I like to use a high number like this to keep my effects tags nicely separated from my other map tags so they don't get mixed up. Now we'll do the actual scripting. Jump into the script editor, include zcommon.acs as always. Make a new script which will run when the player enters the map. Again, I like to use a high number for my FX scripts to keep them nice and separate. Start with a for loop. For the I value, we'll give it the lowest tag of our light sectors, so 1000, and we'll have this for loop repeat until the I value reaches 1030, since our highest tag is 1029 in this case. Now call the function light_fade. It takes 3 values. The first value is the tag, which will be I. The second value is the light level, and we'll make it 255. And ticks is how long it takes to reach that value. We'll make it 35 ticks in this instance, which is equal to 1 second. If I just left it like this, all of the lights would immediately light up because there's no delay between each of the iterations. So what we need is a small delay. I'll use 10 ticks here. Now outside of the for loop, we want to add a couple more things. The first thing is a delay. I'll use 35 ticks here again, and this just gives it 1 second before we want the script to start over. And to start the script over, we'll use restart. So this script will now cycle through repeatedly while the map is running. We need one more script still because this just lights up the sectors up to 255, which isn't very helpful. We need a new script that's very similar to the first one, so we'll copy the first one and paste it down. Call this script 101, and on this script we'll keep the for loop the same. The light fade, however, we'll put down to somewhere dark, maybe 100 in this case. You might notice though that this won't work very well because both of these scripts are going to start at the same time, so it'll immediately try and light up then dim down, so it won't really do too much. What we need is to add a delay in front of our second script's loop. This delay needs to be long enough that before it starts, the first light sector can get fully bright, which will be 35 ticks or 1 second. because we want to keep this in sync, we want to make sure that any delay we have at the start and at the end of our second script must be equal to the delay at the end of the first script. So in this case, we don't need any delay at the end because we've got our full 35 at the start. So I'll get rid of this. Keep the restart and give it a save. Let's load up the game and see how it looks. And there you go. Now the reason the lights are bright at the start is simply that I haven't lowered the brightness down on these sectors, which we can easily do back in the editor. But there you have it. We have an interesting looking pyramid with a cycling effect on it. One thing you might notice here is that it looks like there's a slight desync happening between the lights on the two perpendicular walls here. This is just because the way Doom adjusts lighting for lines in the X and Y axis. You can disable this adjustment using a map info lump or fiddling with the even lighting flag for all the line depths. Or you can just select your tower and rotate it so it's not on those X and Y planes. While we're at it, let's copy and paste it and add a second pyramid over here. We'll have another look. And there you go. Two impressive looking nice cycling light pyramids. As you can see, the sides are synced up more nicely now. Now the good thing about making lights in this way is that the script is kind of infinitely repeatable. So if you wanted to make a bunch more lights around the map and you're happy with this sequence, there's nothing stopping you from reusing the tags and quickly building lights all over the place. For example, we could use draw grid mode here and set the slices to say 30 vertical and draw in this grid up along here like so. Jump into sector mode, grab all the sectors here. We only need 30, so we don't need that last sector. Edit the sectors and tag them as greater than or equal to 1000 again. Let's lower the brightness on these sectors, and while we're at it, we'll do that for the pyramids too. And let's find some nice light textures. This red one will do nicely. Block the sectors down a little bit and put some lights on the side here too maybe. This yellow one, that might do. Then jump into your map again and have a look. There it is. We've got our floor lighting cycling the same way now. I'm not a big fan of that yellow, but oh well, you get the idea. And if you wanted to speed this lighting up or change how it behaves, just play around with the delays in timing in the scripts and see what you can build. There's no better teacher than just experimenting. Now go forth and light your maps.